Welcome to Fusionverse, a show where we talk about anime, TV shows, movies, and games. Today we're talking about Batman Hush. Okay, first, as you can tell, I'm gonna be reviewing Batman Hush. Short review. This is a simpler version. If you haven't read the comics, okay, if you haven't read the comics at all, you can watch this. I think it'll be fine for you, possibly. If you read the comics, so that's it. That's the thing. You can watch it. I don't know if I'd buy it. It's like good, but yeah. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty of Batman Hush. This is like, I guess, spoilers. Let's talk about this comparison of the comic to this. How it starts off, the villain, the first villain is Killer Croc in the series. Now I know you're thinking, well, how would you know that? Do you actually have proof of that? Well, I'm gonna show you. In great condition, kind of. But yeah. So those of you that do not know and are not aware, yeah, the first villain that actually Batman faces is not Bane, in fact. From what I believe, it is Killer Croc. And Killer Croc basically takes the kid. Now, let me show you right there. Killer Croc. And here's the thing, he's been mutated. He's trying to find a cure, to not be some, because he basically grew a freaking tail. He's like, his scales are falling, like, he's becoming more animalistic. He's trying to freaking cure himself, and there's this way that he can do it. But yeah, the kid is involved. There's a whole situation of what he needs. He's becoming very animalistic. Problem though, there's a goddamn problem with well, I guess with the movie, obviously they use Bane, and for me it's like, oh, okay, they're not gonna use Killer Croc, but Bane, this whole Venom thing, okay, that seems to be fine. That seems to be okay. And you know what? I'm gonna play this as I go along, just so you can kind of see what kind of is transpiring. And the thing is with Bane, kind of ends abruptly, and it's basically joining the Suicide Squad. There is no point in this that I see that. It's weird, but it's like, I don't ever remember Killer Croc ever going to be like, oh, we're joining the Suicide Squad. I think that was just something they put in there because they're going to make a Suicide Squad movie, another animated movie, and they wanted to put that in there. It's really upsetting, just kind of like if they add that stuff. There's this whole thing, relationship between Batman and Catwoman. It kind of occurs as well in the comic, the graphic novel, and it's done pretty well. But here they kind of extend with it. Poison Ivy is in the comics perfectly fine. That it is basically her controlling like Killer Croc or all these things. There's all these mutation stuff going on. But the problem is that they do way too much of like Catwoman and Batman, which at some point it's kind of like, okay, because it's about Hush and what he's doing, and they do put a lot about that. However, I think they do a horrible job at executing it, because they introduce the character and they ruin him. They fucking ruin him. Okay? I want you to think about this Hush. This villain, this new villain that shows up. Right? This villain shows up out of nowhere at the same time as Thomas Elliot, who's Bruce's, friend. and they have the balls to just kind of throw that away. Everything what it was. His story is amazing. So basically, if you don't know, because if you've seen this movie, you wouldn't know. Thomas Elliot is, yes, a renowned surgeon, all that, renowned doctor. But here's the thing: he didn't just get to be that way. You see, something happened. When Bruce's parents freaking died, Thomas Elliot was kind of like they were friends. They hung out a lot and stuff like that, and it was kind of like another family to him. But Thomas Elliot reveals that he was jealous of Bruce. He was jealous that Bruce basically like what was it? Basically, he had all the money. His parent, he could do whatever he wanted, and Thomas Elliot was jealous of it. He was like, so he freaking planned to. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here, saying this because if you haven't read these comics, okay, there's two of them right here. If you have not read these at all, you need to read them, okay? Because I am going to spoil the hell out of it. Yeah. So here it is, okay? That's your cue. You can go whatever, but that's your freaking cue, okay? Because I'm gonna talk about this. You want to stay? I'm gonna be showing this. You go. Freaking Thomas Elliot killed his parents because he wanted to have what Bruce had, and he tried to kill him. I think he might have accomplished it as well in the comics. And there's this whole thing where freaking Thomas Elliot is he basically kills his parents because he wants to have all that stuff, right? But then, oh wait, hold on, let me see. I think there's a thing here. I could be wrong about the Suicide Squad thing. So basically, okay, so here's the thing. Killer Croc is taken to a project. They never allude to it. It's supposed to be let's see if you can see it. Waller takes him. But they never allude to it. It's Suicide Squad. They just capture him and they take him. Bruce, Batman, never helps them get him. He's just trying to capture him again because of this whole thing that happens. And the thing, Huntress comes out in this as well. But a lot of it was just, you want to put Bruce there, things of that nature. And so, yeah, there's this whole thing, I guess, going on where I think they're trying to put a lot of stuff, and there's this whole thing with Thomas and him and Batman. There's a story between them, and they don't do it here. They just basically introduce Thomas Elliot. There's this whole relationship that they have. Thomas Elliot, right there. Thomas Elliot and Bruce Wayne. This whole relationship that they have, and they kind of flush it down the toilet. He gets introduced for a split second, a minute or two, and then he just gets tossed out like yesterday's garbage. And the thing is, that's fucking it pisses me off, is the fact that they kill him. In the comics, they do that, but the thing is, it's not actually him. I think it's Clayface, or he pretends that he's dead and stuff like that. It's not really him, because it's not. Unless am I reading this wrong? No. And then they have flashbacks to when the Joker did to Barbara Gordon and all that, as they killed his friend. There's this whole thing in here from the Killing Joke that they implement, and they just never They never use it. I'm like, they could have done it. They could have shown like flashbacks or just anything. I think Catwoman is the one who restrains him from killing the Joker, but the Joker didn't do anything. Like he didn't even shoot the guy. I think it was like someone else. And then that's the thing, right? Like you see all this happen. Like they have a lot of great scenes, but then like Hush is there. You know, he's right there, and like seriously, they've had it. They could have done such an amazing job. Because the thing is, Batman, even though he's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, he can't figure it out. And then, like, of course, goes to Edward Nygma, and in there they do it. They talk about it, Edward Nygma, and he talks about like getting all that money. And he finds out like who Batman is and everything. But the whole problem, the whole thing of what's going on is he can't tell anyone. Because he's in prison. He knows who Batman is, but he can't say anything to anyone because the one thing that the Riddler, right, that the Riddler wants is to have like the ultimate riddle, something that no one can solve. And if he tells someone, that means that riddle is gone. And that's the whole situation where it's like, well, who is the Batman, right? The ultimate riddle. He knows it now, but at what cost? Like he knows it, but he has to take that to his grave. And it's like, well, then who's really gonna believe him too? Because he's kind of a nut job. So he's kind of in this tough situation where he knows all of that, but can he really do anything about it? And there's this whole thing where it's just super intense because it's going back and forth of like who actually, I guess who is Hush, and there's different people who are like, oh, it's this person, it's it, this is who it is, you know, he thinks it's this person, but over and over again he can't figure it out, and it's kind of like towards the end where basically gets kind of revealed like, oh, it's, you know, I believe it should be here, where it's like it's Thomas Elliot. There's this whole thing where it's like he even shows up, even like towards the end, he thinks it's like, oh, it could be. Wait, is that who I think it is? Is that Jason Todd? And it's like, oh shit! And this, I believe, this definitely preludes Red Hood. Definitely does, because Red Hood does it try to trashes him like, oh no, this whole idea was Jason Todd's idea. Like, no, stop that crap. And then it's like this whole fear sequence. This is absolutely beautiful. If you get the chance, you should definitely purchase this. Yeah, look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. See right there? And then it's like, it's absolutely amazing because he thinks it's like, oh my god, it's Jason Todd. And they have like this fight sequence, which is honestly very incredible. Really just well done. But the thing is, it's not him, you know? And it's like, you are not the Robin who died. Like, I mean, come on. Like, he knows it. Bruce knows it. And it's amazing. God damn it. I'm telling you, this is amazing. Because it's at the end of all of this, right? It's like who actually, you know, did this. There's like this whole thing here. There's this whole thing where it's like, it's kind of like, man, I think I'm going to have to read this again. This is simply amazing. And, yeah. I think there's a whole thing where it was like, oh, is this Two-Face? And it's like it's freaking crazy because I think he like finally figures out that it's, you know, Thomas Elliot and stuff. And I don't know, it's oh, that's right. There's a sequence here. It says, Bruce, after your fall, when the Batline was cut back in the Batcave, you were barely conscious. So much you had to use Morse code. What made you think of Tommy Elliot? Why? And so I was just curious. He was the best surgeon in the country, as good if not better than my father, and a childhood friend who is now dead because he came back into my life. This goes beyond curious. You asked me to look into the electronic relay you found hidden underneath your computer in the cave. The design work is flawless. Any idea whose it is? I think I do. Sir wouldn't have asked me. I routed the device through this computer. At first, I thought it was a listening device. Yeah, turns out it was made to look that way. And look what it can do. And I think, yeah, this is like, they find out why betray me? Thing. And it's like, it's one of those things where then they find out, yeah, he finds out who like Hush is, that it's like, you know, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty intense stuff. I definitely recommend reading it if you haven't. It's really good, and yeah, but what they do with this, what they do with Batman Hush in here, it really pisses me off because they use the fucking Riddler. The Riddler is just the guy who did everything, and Thomas Elliot is fucking dead. But his fucking grave is, or his body's missing. But then you find it at the end, and I think they really just messed that up. They really messed it up because it's such a good story, such a good detective story. Because the whole time, as you say, he's trying to figure it out, and for them to kind of cheapen out and be like, "Oh, it's the Riddler," like what the? No, I think they could have easily done a great job with this, but yeah, I think if they had stuck to the source material, it wow, it could have been like one of the top, but they didn't. They decided to go a different route, and it's freaking interesting because yeah, Thomas Elliot is so amazing, and yeah, like I said, it's really good. And he kind of like I think it's also one of those things where it's like he disappears as well, where it's not like, you know, yeah, when I fell, when I needed a surgeon, I only thought Thomas Elliot. Subliminal stuff. I think they could have easily done such a great job. Like I said, there's the sequence of where he finds out like, oh, who Batman is and stuff like that. That happens at the end. But the thing is like, it's amazing because he can't tell anyone. Like he can't. Like this is what he says that's freaking amazing. To Batman says to the Riddler, riddles are your compulsion, your addiction, and a riddle that everyone knows the answer to is worthless. That means he cannot tell anyone, you know? And it's like there's this concept thing. And then it kind of alludes to kind of like Red Hood, uh, what's going to transpire because he can't find his body. And of course, later you find out the whole thing. And well, yeah, I think this is honestly just one of the best. But yeah, the movie just really kind of messed it up at the end there. They could have seriously done such an amazing job. But yeah, they blew it for, like, honestly, from in my opinion, they pretty much blew it. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, guys, thank you so much for watching it. It's just kind of like my review, my opinion about all this. I mean, this comic is so amazing. I actually got my best friend back into comics because of this comic, this graphic novel. He was like freaking tells me constantly, so he was so excited when this was being made because he knew DC was gonna shit all over it, and oh boy, did they! Like, there's a lot of good in this, but they really do shit on this. Like, seriously, like Thomas Elliott's character, they completely wasted him. They shit all over him. And I think they could have done such an amazing job. And it turned more into like this love story kind of towards the end. And I can't stand that. They have to put these relationships. And it's kind of like, you don't need to do that. Like, yeah, you can have that kind of like going on in the background or certain things. But at the same time, they could have stuck to the source material. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. For more videos, click over there. You know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on another, I guess another review. Another review. Review TV. I'll just call it Fusionverse or something. I don't know. Yeah, Fusion.